It is Tuesday, April 7th, 2026. This is another edition of Baseball Today, presented to you by T-Mobile. That is my man, Trevor Plouffe. I am Chris Rose, producer Dan, along for the ride as well. We start off with a tip of the cap that is probably near and dear to Mr. Plouffe's heart. That's because baseball returned to the Trop for the first time since 2024 on Monday. Yeah, they were victorious over the Chicago Cubs. Am I right? Near and dear to your heart?
I really enjoyed my time in Tampa Bay. I didn't really play a lot, but I liked my teammates there, and I did find the Trop when it's your home park. It's endearing. I'm sure I didn't get to play in the Metrodome. I think we talked about that yesterday. I'm sure it's going to be remembered one day like that. I think the good memories will outlast the bad memories of the Trop. How about that? I think a lot of people will have like fun stories about it because it is one of the more unique kind of ballparks that we have. So
I think
that was nice to see him back there.
it was, to some degree, we all feel guilty because it was a natural disaster that cost them their year at that field. Of course, it was Hurricane Milton that ripped through and destroyed the entire roof. And actually, it's pretty amazing they were able to fix that thing. I will say that it does. The first time I was ever there, I looked around. It was very dark. It was somewhat antiseptic, the whole bit. There's only one way in, one way out. It's not easy to get to for people. And they have battled for the longest time, like getting the stadium issue right. But a place that you can call home, it's like you're allowed to make fun of it, but nobody else is, that sort of deal.
You know, and I get that it's hard to get to. Look at that guy right there. One of 5 at-bats I got. Once you're in St. Pete, it's awesome though. Like St. Pete is a really, really cool place. Like, there's a lot of like cool history in St. Pete. It's beautiful. I understand it's tough to get to. I get that, but
yeah. All right. Well, Rays, welcome back. I think they were the last team to play a home opener, right? Does that sound right?
That does sound right.
I think so. If not, I'll hear from our constituents shortly. All right, let's get to the home of the Boston Red Sox, which turned into Chippyville on Monday. Another loss for the worst team in baseball as the Brewers just keep playing Brewers baseball and doing their thing. But really, this all focused on their old rival, Willson Contreras from the National League Central. Of course, he started his career with the Chicago Cubs. He moved on to the St. Louis Cardinals, and there's been all sorts of issues. You know, he's a guy that does crowd the plate. He's been susceptible to being hit by pitches, and so it continued to happen again last night, right? Brandon Woodruff goes inside. Ouch. Clips him, it looks like, on the left elbow. He is fired up. And why is that? Because he's been hit 6 times by Woody in his career, 24 times overall by the Milwaukee Brewers. That is 10 more than against any other team. He was letting everybody have it while on the bases. He ended up staying in the game. Woodruff kind of ignored him. Alex Cora's like, dude, chill out. Well, later on, there's a fielder's choice, and he goes in hard slide on former Red Sox David Hamilton, who had to kind of take a breather. As you can see, there's somewhat spikes high on that. Here's Contreras and Christian Yelich afterward.
That's the 6th time they hit me, and they always say, I'm not trying to hit you. That get old. So next time they hit me again, I'm going to take one of them out. That's what happened. That's a message. But like I say, I took exception with it. The 24th time. It's not coincidence. They're going there with a purpose. And that's fine. And that's fine. That's pitching. But next time you hit me, the message is clear. I'm going to take one of them out.
Take that slide a little purposeful on your part?
I wouldn't say purposely because he stayed in the back. And that was a perfect legal slide. Thank you.
How do you think Woodruff handled all the emotion in the middle innings?
Big Woo's done a great job. I mean, he's pitched for a really long time. I mean, we've seen that skit for the last 10 years. It's nothing new, not surprising. You just keep it rolling.
A lot to unpack with this one. I guess let's start with this. Do you think the Brewers are intentionally throwing at Willson Contreras?
I don't think they're intentionally throwing at Willson Contreras. I think they're intentionally going up and into him, and don't care if they hit him, if that makes sense, right? Like I think when I watch this, I side with Willson Contreras. 24 times is nuts, Chris. You know, like 6 times All right, like, hey, yeah, you got the elbow guard, you're leaning in a little bit, that's fine. 24 times? That's insane. That would make anybody mad. So, like, look, I get the Brewers may not act or like the way he's acting, or they don't like that he's leaning in with the elbow guard, but 24 times is egregious. And anybody that steps in the box would understand if you get hit 24 times by the same team, like, you're going to be upset about it. And there are a few where, yeah, he uses that elbow guard and he's leaning out over the plate, but that's like, I would say that's less than a quarter of the time. The rest of them are like legitimate hit by pitches. So you're going to be frustrated. You're going to be upset. Like, I don't really know what he means by I'm going to take one of them out. What is he going to do? Like, is he going to be the guy that like that would be hilarious. Say they hit him tonight. Is he going to like drop kick his brother behind the plate?
Oh,
And just a sibling rivalry? Like, what does that mean? Like, I think you have to charge the mound. You can't, like, that's the only way to do it honorably. Like, go get him.
so are you saying he's called his shot?
I think you have to. If you say we're gonna take you out, like, I mean, don't put that on your pitcher. Like, go if you want to go, right? Like, isn't that the way to handle things?
You tell him. I want to tell. I'm going to admit something. I've covered this game for 3+ decades. There's a handful of people who scare the shit out of me in this sport, and he is one of them. He's been very nice. Every time I've talked to him, very nice. He's one of those dudes where I'm like, I would never, if I played the game, and every fan can relate to this. Like, you look at certain guys, you're like, that's one dude I'd never want to mess with. Not that I'd be able to fight any of these guys, but I'm just saying there's some guys you're like, holy smokes, he seems like he's on a different level. And I think he's one of those guys.
I don't know, man. 24 times, 6 times by Woodruff alone. Like, I wasn't a guy that got hit by a ton of pitches, but I did break my ribs from a fastball. Like, it's not fun getting hit. It's not like, oh, well, I just missed inside and you're wearing an elbow guard. No big deal. It's like, no, dude, like, this is literally my livelihood that you're messing with because you can't control your pitches. Like, it's really, really hard for me to get on the pitcher side of any of this because they have just zero repercussion when they hit people. They never had, even when they were hitting, as you know, when there was no DH, they didn't get hit. It was the other hitters. Like, I just really have no tolerance for it. So you can, if you're a Brewers fan, oh, we're sick of his act, and I love Yelly, and he's just kind of standing up for his team. But I think if Yelly got hit 24 times by, the Cubs or the Red Sox, and 6 times by one pitcher, he'd be feeling differently about it. Like, I'm trying to like see both sides here, but I can't. Like, I'm on Willson Contreras' side. I just am curious what he means by I'm taking one out. I think, Big Dog, if you say that, you got to go get somebody. Then you got to go out to the mound.
So if Jacob Mizorowski comes up and in, or
got to go to the mound
tonight, you're going to go get the tall, thin man.
If you call your shot like that, you got to do it. Do I want to see that? Like, a little bit, but like, not really. I want everyone on the field. I like people playing the game. But
yes,
that's the
you
only
want to
way
see
you do
it.
this.
Yes, we do want to see it. And it's okay to feel like a little dirty when you say that, but we do want to see it. We do.
I don't want anyone to get hurt, Chris. Like, my take on this has always been, I want the best players on the field. I don't like seeing guys get hurt. There are some things that have to happen from time to time in this sport. And again, you get hit a bunch, you have the right to be frustrated. But if you call your shot like that, I mean.
Listen, you could still be a great baseball fan and want a little chaos on the field occasionally. Some of the greatest memories we've ever had, we still talk about are certain fights. If you're from my era, it's the Braves-Padres fight that was 30 minutes and didn't stop. If you were like a kid that grew up in the 90s, it was the Orioles-Yankees fight where Darryl Strawberry popped Armando Benitez in the face. Like, we have had certain fights over the years that you'll remember and you go back to and you're like, oh man, that was awesome. Heck, even a couple of years ago, there was that Angels-Mariners fight. One of the few times that Anthony Rendon was actually on the field. Jesse Winker was involved in it. How about like Amir Garrett when he charged the Pirates dugout?
I was trying to go back and think, like, what do I think of when I think of brawls? Like, you think of Jason Varitek and Alex Rodriguez. You definitely think of Amir Garrett versus the entire Pirates team. The Mariners Angels one's good.
You
Nolan
can throw
Ryan,
your-
Robin Ventura is awesome.
Yeah. Go ahead and throw your favorite one in the comments section if you want to send a link as well. It's just so we can pop that up there. That's always
I didn't really get into
always
any
a good
good
one.
ones, to be honest with you.
You weren't
I got front and center with Josh Donaldson. As Glenn Perkins was walking off the mound talking crap, I had to get in there. But there wasn't a lot of it's just a lot of hey man, what are you doing? I had no punches thrown.
The brother component is an interesting one because they asked Willson afterward, do you and William, have you talked about this? And he was like, I don't need to talk to my brother about this. If you were William, would you bring it up? I mean, you're the catcher. You're kind of in the middle of this whole thing.
If Marshface, my bro, was catching, yes, I did. What's going on?
Did you just call him Marshface?
That's what we call him, yeah. You love
Marshface?
Yeah. Oh, there's a reason for that.
Want to share?
No. Off air.
Oh.
I'll leave it a mystery for everybody out there.
Who calls him Marshface?
People that know him.
Like friends?
Not always, but Marshface.
So that's his nickname?
Yeah.
That's the
also HD Webb is his nickname. That's another one. That's off air.
Wait, what is that?
HD Webb. Yeah, dude, my brother's he's pretty funny.
I've learned a lot about Marshall. I like Marshall a lot. I need to learn a little bit more about the nicknames. If you're Garrett Crochet tonight, how do you handle things?
I don't know. I was thinking about that because you got him and Mizorowski, two guys that throw really hard.
Bazillion.
I don't think any of them. I mean, Garrett Crochet, you don't want to charge the mound against that guy. He's literally like the mountain. He's massive. I know Mizorowski's tall, but he's skinny. Garrett Crochet is a big dude. I hope nothing happens. I hope.
Do you really?
I really don't. I really don't want to see that. I'm being honest.
Maybe
it takes away from the game to me.
I don't know. I want to know how everybody feels about this. Can we get to the slide as well? Did you like Willson Contreras' assessment?
It was fine. David Hamilton, let's go, man. What? Did he get hit at all?
He got clipped a little bit.
It was like a little bit of acting right there. Whoa, that was a harder slide than we're used to now. Let me play it up a little bit for the cameras. That's what I think. I looked at the replay. I didn't see him get clipped.
Here. We're going to show the replay right here.
Oh, man, the umpire. I mean, maybe a little bit in the knee right there. Dude, I know you can't do that anymore. I mean, you can do that. Well, no one goes hard into the bases anymore.
Did you feel like the spikes were too high?
That was that was not crazy, dude. Was it it was a little late, that's it. But I'm also from an era where you could break up double plays.
Right.
And
I suppose the spikes high is the thing that maybe clipped him, and
spikes were they were a little high, but it was more late. That's what I think.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Lot to break down there. What'd you think of it? Is Willson Contreras overreacting? Are the Brewers going after him in your opinion? What'd you think about the slide? If you're William Contreras, do you need to step in and say something? And do we as fans want to see something happen tonight? There's a lot to go. I'm not going to feel guilty if I say I kind of want to see him get hit just to see what the reaction is.
Mizorowski won't do that, though, on purpose.
No, I don't think so either.
But he might leave one up in. Does anybody sit tonight? Does Yelly sit tonight against Crochet?
I don't. He's
because Yelly is the one who called it a skit.
Yeah.
And that would be a little bit of if you're in the other clubhouse, you're like, all right, man, what is it? What?
Well, how about this? How about Yelich gets on base tonight and Contreras is at first? How's that conversation?
Could be funny. That I'd like to see. That I would like to see. If I'm Pat Murphy, I'm sitting Yelich tonight.
What?
Yep.
No.
Yes, I am.
Oh, that's weak.
Okay.
What?
Protecting my guy, lefty? I would.
$200 million man.
So we're about to talk about a guy in a couple frames here that happened to.
All right. One other thing from that game last night. Something's going on with Roman Anthony in the field. and it's not good. Another base hit to left last night, and Roman Anthony, I think his arm GPS got misprogrammed. He threw it all in between home and third. It allowed Yelich to score as well on the play. Great slide, by the way. Alex Cora was asked, hey, is Roman Anthony healthy? And he goes, yes, 100%. And he said, well, what's going on here? Does he lost confidence? He said, no, it's a mechanical issue. Well, we've seen it 3 times where he has just been wayward or threw a worm burner home in the case of Cincinnati on a walk-off. Is it mechanical or is it in his head?
It can be both. It can start in your head, then become mechanical. I didn't play a ton of outfield, but it isn't as easy as it seems because you are a lot of the times they kind of charge in like full speed, and then you have to get your body back in position to like a crow hop, make a good throw. So if you are out of whack mechanically, even slightly, because of the elongated nature of the throw, it's if it's not precise, it's going to run off course a lot more than like an infield throw would. So like it could be something with like a front shoulder or his legs or even your grip. That's something that I had to learn a lot that actually helped me transition back into the infield. When I played outfield, you have to get 4 seams. You got to get 4 seams. You got to get on top of the ball and create that backspin, or else like it's just too long of a throw. So any sort of cut or fade is going to be accentuated. I learned that, got back to playing third base, and my throws were so much more accurate. So they could be a ton of things.
Well, Alex Cora said he's got to get his feet in better position. We'll see how much that changes. I don't know. Can't you just put him at DH and just call it a day for right now?
There's a lot of people clamoring for big time changes in Boston as far as like what's happening. Maybe putting Meyer at short or bringing Rafaela back into the infield. Like, what's the best lineup? There's a lot of people talking about that right now.
Well, that's what happens when you have the worst record in baseball. They're 2-8.
You called them the worst team in baseball, man. Oof.
Well, I mean, that's record-wise. That's what they are.
I know.
God Almighty, it's ugly there. Yeah. It is. And by the way, the noodle arm memes that are on social media for Roman Anthony. Have you seen this?
No, I haven't seen it.
I mean,
like
AI. It's horrible.
Is it because he's Italian?
It's Roman Anthony. No, it's because he's got a noodle arm.
Oh, I mean, that's the joke, right?
The joke is that he's got a noodle arm.
Okay.
Not the. Please.
Me and Vinny Pasquantino are already getting him for Team Italy next WBC. So
yeah, let's not steal him from Team USA just yet. Hey, today's episode of Baseball Today, it is sponsored by Amazon. When life throws you a curveball, Amazon's everyday low prices on essentials helps you save the day. Amazon has everything you need whenever you need it, from planned purchases to unexpected moments. They got everything in one place, saving you time and money so you can focus on what matters most. I told you about a recent trip I had. I was gone 16 days. During that time, I forgot my heart gummies. I forgot my hair gel. I just had it ordered one place. Michelle met me. She brought it with me. My heart felt better. Not just because my lovely bride was with me, but because I had my heart gummies, courtesy of Amazon, and my hair gel, I had it sent to the hotel. I was good to go. Now, of course, for me, what matters most is having as much time as possible each and every week to catch up on all my favorite MLB action so I can talk to you and talk to Mr. Plouffe about it. I don't need to be wasting time driving to this store and that store when it can all just arrive at my doorstep or wherever I am in this great country of ours. So from tech to clothing to daily needs or anything else you need to prepare for the start of this baseball journey we're on, Amazon has everything you need all in one convenient place and can deliver to you anytime, anywhere. So whether it's routine shopping or handling life's curveballs, shop Amazon and save on essentials. Save the every day. All right, World Series rematch. It was ugly. Dodgers taking it to the Blue Jays 14-2 north of the border. Max Scherzer, they went in the game knowing that he had a little bit of a forearm issue. He was going to give everything he had. That wasn't much. It was 2 innings for a team that has been struck by injuries in the starting rotation already. And then LA flexed its muscles, Dalton rushing with 2 homers. They had 5 as a team, and you know who chipped in as well.
27th round draft pick. Ohtani digs it out, sends it in the air, center field. Varsho back. It is gone to center field. Ohtani's third in 4 games on the trip.
I think we're just doing things the right way and running deeper counts, hitting to the opposite field. And obviously, Dalton had a huge night, so that was good to see. But, everyone, 1 through 9 was really solid.
This is going to happen over the course of the year. This bad offense, bad defense, bad pitching, giving up homers, it's going to happen. It just seems like right now the baseball world is trying to throw it all at us at once.
I love that by Schneid. It's an interesting comment for him. It is coming at him, isn't it?
Despite every time I watch the Blue Jays just absolutely zooing baseballs around the field, I saw a stat that they were still like second in outs above average throughout the league. Like, I don't know how defensive metrics work. I just don't understand. Every single time I watch them play, somebody is booting a ball.
Yeah.
But they are still ranking high. I don't know. I don't get it.
With the Dodgers, they are on a ridiculous run. The last 4 games, they've scored 45 runs, I believe. The only one of the 6 Toronto pitchers that didn't give up a run last night was their catcher, Tyler Heineman. So they're just taking it everywhere. But with all this talk of like a three-peat, how much interest should people have in the Dodgers' regular season journey?
I don't really know what you mean by that.
Well,
like
should
we watch them? Or?
Well, what I'm saying is there are teams that you want to pay attention to throughout the year to see if they're really for real but we're like, okay, well, the Dodgers are going to win the West, and it's just a question of what seed they are, and then I'll start paying attention to them in October. Is that a good thing for baseball fans to do, or are we really going to be missing something if we don't hone in on the two-time defending champions during the regular season?
I still think there's a ton of like great storylines with the Dodgers, and I would liken it to like, now, wouldn't it be cool to tell your friends that hey man, like I went and saw the late 90s Yankees play.
Mm-hmm.
Or I went and saw, name your dynasty team. Like, you need to go see this team. The players they have on this squad, the team they've built, you're going to want to say, I watched that team. And like that was really cool. I truly believe that about what's happening in Los Angeles. But as far as there are storylines throughout, like I want to see how the bullpen shakes out. I want to see about Roki Sasaki and what they're going to do with him. Watching Shohei day in and day out is amazing, a story in its own, but you can talk about the middle infield right now. So there's a bunch of storylines going on, like who's going to step up, so yeah, like I'm still interested in the Dodgers regular season. I do understand you could say they're going to be in the playoffs and I'll start watching them then. I understand that sentiment, but there's a couple teams you could say that about, not just the Dodgers. But I'm still very much interested in what's happening out there. I mean, Andy Pajas right now is a superstar. Like, is he turning into a superstar? Like, that's another storyline.
Yeah, I think the people who cash in on the regular season, I don't know. It's interesting, like, because I don't pay attention. I go through the thinking of like, what sort of sport am I, or what sort of fan am I in a sport that I don't cover for a living, right? I cover baseball. I cover the NFL. NBA, I strictly watch the Cavs, right? That's my team. I won't sit down and watch a Nuggets Warriors game if it's on. And those have been 2 teams that have been pretty good over the last decade. Warriors aren't great this year. They're fighting for one of those last playoff spots. But I guess that's the question. So now, like, do I watch OKC? Do I watch the defending NBA champion Oklahoma City Thunder because they're the defending champions? No, I've barely watched them. I've watched them like 4 times this year. 2 of those games were against the Cavs. So I don't find much interest in them. And I don't.
Okay. The only other sport I watch is football. Like sometimes I'll watch golf.
Yeah, that's a different animal.
I only want to watch the good teams play football because the bad teams are so bad.
Well, that's true.
So yeah, I don't know. I mean, if you're a casual, and you're probably not if you're listening to this show, I think you still watch the Dodgers. I think that's one of the first teams you want to put on.
They play great baseball. And
Yeah.
it's also great if you want to root against them, right? I mean, they kind of leaned into the
I'm not buying that. I'm not buying the heel thing. They're not. They're like, there's nobody on this team that you're like, that guy's an asshole.
Well, I talked to the guy who edited that piece, and what a job he did. And he was like, yeah, the whole point is that they're good guys. You know, they're like good guys, but they're seen as bad because bad for baseball. And so let's just go lean into that. I think there's a ton of reasons to go watch them.
And that guy Hassan Kim is up again. Let's go.
Sure. I mean, the number one reason to watch him is Shohei, because once he stops playing or once he stops doing one or the other, and it'll be pitching before the hitting that'll go, then you're going to say, God, I wish I had seen him in person. If you haven't seen him pitch, go try and figure out when he's pitching in your town. Hopefully you get a chance to see it. And if you want to go make a summer trip to Los Angeles, go do it at a time where what?
Don't go do that.
Don't go do what?
See him in LA.
Why?
I just think I'd rather see him somewhere else.
Yeah, but
LA's a tough place to go watch a ball game.
I know, but if you have a week, let's say, and you could try and narrow it down to a time where Shohei pitches, go do that.
It's very mean of me to say, because watching a game at Dodger Stadium is awesome.
It's just the getting in and out.
Getting in and out stinks. It is loud at Dodger Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably the loudest place there is to play.
Petco's been pretty loud that I've been to when it's...
I'm not even saying the fans, because, I mean, the fans, like, during the playoffs, great. They still draw a lot of people there. I think they lead the league in attendance every year, or at least close to it. But it's the sound system. It's the loudest sound system there is.
Okay.
I don't know what I'm saying. I go wherever you can. Go see Shohei Ohtani play.
Right.
We've been saying that since 2021 or something.
Right. Yes. So
I think that's the best piece of advice I've ever given on this show is like, go watch Shohei Ohtani play. Like, you're going to want to tell your kids and grandkids that you saw him.
Yeah, it's a shame if you don't. I don't know what you're waiting for. We're not going to.
My grandpa saw Babe Ruth. Like, that's badass.
Exactly. I don't know if I have anybody in my life that saw that.
When's his last year? 20-something?
Well,
I'm looking it up right now.
You'd have to be 100 and...
1935 is his last year.
35 was his last year.
So that's 90 years old. That's if you're one.
Yeah. So we need... I think my dad saw him.
Your dad saw him?
Mm-hmm. My dad was my parents were born in 1928. They were older when they had me.
So
Isn't that crazy?
Like 6 years old?
Yeah.
7 years old? Okay.
Yeah, I think my dad saw him play.
Dude, like, whenever you look at Babe Ruth's page, it's ridiculous. 182 career WAR. It's insane. What the hell? I haven't been on his baseball reference page in a long time. 474 career OBP. What are we doing here? 690 slug.
I love that.
Oh my god, dude.
I love that. It's great. All right. Congrats to my guy Jose Ramirez. It's why I'm wearing this hat today, because he made a little history on Monday. Game number 1620 in his future Hall of Fame career. That is now the most in Cleveland baseball history. So Jose becomes the only active player to lead his team in most games played. It's pretty amazing. When you think of where he started, I was going through some clips from last night, and his first home run he hit, I believe, was a Fox game at Yankee Stadium. He goes deep off of Brandon McCarthy, I want to say. And my buddy Eric Karros is calling the game, and he and Kenny Albert are saying he's just keeping the seat warm until this guy Francisco Lindor comes up at shortstop and takes over that job. And who would know that a dozen years later, because I think he hit his first homer in 2014, came up in 2013, I believe. And here he is. He's going to have a statue built outside of that stadium or in that stadium, wherever the heck you want to put it. But he is the statue guy for that franchise.
Those two have, I mean, that wasn't like wrong that they said. I mean, he did come and play shortstop, and I'm looking at both their stats. I mean, they are freaking dang close to each other in career statistics. That's crazy, man. I have fond memories of Jose Ramirez. I mean, I saw when he came up, and he was just like he wasn't a top prospect. He was like seen as like a utility guy. Yeah, he'll move around the infield. He'll get some starts. Like he's got some, energy to him. That's like kind of how people thought about him. First, 2-3 years of his career, that's how you thought about him. And he was young when he came up. And then he just started that whole I'm going to be as consistent as it gets routine. And he's just done it now for, I don't even know how many years, 11 years now, 12 years.
Well, he didn't become a starter full time until 2016, till the World Series run that they went on. So, yeah, they were having a hard time figuring out, do we put him in the outfield a little bit because we don't have great outfielders? Do we just let him be a utility infielder? And then they couldn't keep him off the field. And then he just turned into this megastar. And after a while, you were like, my God, he can run the bases. He doesn't look fast, but he can run the bases. He plays really good defense over there at third. Let's just put him over there. Well, no, we can't keep him at third. He's 5'8". Like, we can't have that over there. And switch hitter, and he started to have some pop, and you're like, my God. And it is true that you appreciate your players on your team because you see them every day. He just plays at a different level than guys. He runs out virtually every ball hard, and he's just so smart on the bases. The one time that he wasn't was last year in the playoffs against Detroit. And it was one of the few times where you were like, did his baseball IQ like take the week off or something? Because he's just smarter than everybody else. What he does defensively, offensively, his baseball acumen is incredible. And we talked about it when he signed that extension earlier this year, his second extension. There aren't a lot of Cleveland athletes who have played ball in Cleveland that have picked Cleveland. There just haven't been. We've been the butt of jokes in sports. Nobody wants to live in Cleveland. Nobody even wants to visit Cleveland. He has wanted to make it his home. He and his family love it there, and he wants to be the guy. And I think there's very few guys that are playing baseball right now who is the first guy you think of when you mention a franchise. When you think of Cleveland baseball, you might get some people who say Bob Feller, maybe a Larry Doby.
I think like Kenny Lofton.
Not
first. Play there long enough.
Not first. You think of like those great Cleveland teams, but you think of him first. I think there's only one or two other guys in the sport where you think like when you say the New York Yankees, you don't think Aaron Judge first. As great as a player as he is,
no, you don't.
You don't. You think Babe Ruth. You think Joe DiMaggio. You think Derek Jeter.
Mickey Mantle.
Right? You think Lou Gehrig. You don't think Aaron Judge. And that's not a slight on Aaron Judge. It's a credit to how wonderful their organization is. Cleveland, we haven't won shit since 1948, and we have been horrible in some cases. So,
another thing that he does, which, I honestly think this is like the most important thing that you can do as a ball player is post. The guy posts, man. Like, I'm looking at his games played. If you get 150 or higher, that is a real big full season right there. And he's done that every single year since 2016. Obviously, in 2020, he only played 60 games. He played 58. So we're talking a guy, 152, 152, 157. Oh, I see here 129. That's the only time in 2019. Yep. But he's just posted. And when you show up for your team like that, it means something to the guys in the clubhouse. It means something to the fans as well. Like, he's going to be playing. I think that's really special. And that's another way also, to rack up numbers.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All that stuff's important.
You going to answer your question that you sent me?
Yes. Which is, how many other players?
Yeah.
Do you think?
I was thinking about it. I don't know.
The question is, how many active players right now is the first guy you think of when you mention a team's name.
Like Shohei is on the cusp to me.
Of Dodgers?
Yeah. I mean, it truly is. I know that's crazy. And you might say Sandy Koufax, or you might say, I don't know, there's a lot of different answers for them too. Mike Piazza, Fernando Valenzuela, all these things.
Jackie Robinson,
yeah. I understand that. But I think if you went out and said to people, like, name the first Dodger that comes to their head, they're going to say Shohei right now.
Well, I think I think if you were to ask younger people, I think if you ask anybody over 40, I mean, this is also a time-related question, and I get that. I think there's only two other guys you can make the argument for today. I think one is Shohei's old teammate, Mike Trout.
Yeah.
When you say, okay, Angels, who's the first player you think of? Mike Trout. And then I think Jose Altuve
that's a good one too.
The only other two guys I think that you could put in there are Bagwell.
Correa get a mention with the Astros too? He's playing with them.
He is, but I wouldn't say that. I would say Bagwell, Biggio, and Altuve. Those are the three guys I would consider. Anybody else for any of these teams?
No.
So if I say you don't think Vlad's reached that status yet, right?
I was thinking down in Atlanta, but that's not it.
Hank Aaron.
Yeah, I know, but it is a time-related question, like you said. I think Ronald Acuna is in that discussion as well.
It's a good exercise for people, and obviously for people that are listening to the show that are in their 20s, it is going to be different. But I am curious because we do pay reverence to players of yesterday's generation in this sport more so than any other sport. And it's part of what I love about it.
I'm looking at Jose's baseball reference page. This guy's got 3 MVP 3s, an MVP 2, an MVP 4, an MVP 6.
Mm-hmm.
But he's barely led the league in anything. It's he's just good at everything.
He's good at everything.
Like, he's led the league in doubles twice.
Mm-hmm.
The league in runs in the COVID year, and then a couple times with intentional walks. That's very strange.
Yeah, he's going to have a shot at 400, 300 in terms of homers and steals, and that's a very select group.
He's already got 400 doubles on the nose.
So, yeah, he's great. I'm really happy for him and proud of him, and it's great to call somebody who's one of the best in the sport, the guy who's played his whole career in Cleveland and
how many times you interacted with him?
Very few. I mean,
why?
Just enough to say hello, but I haven't chatted with him a ton. It's been more like head nods and a how you doing.
I'm gonna get you a Jose Ramirez sign ball. You got one?
I don't have one.
I'm gonna get you one.
I don't have one. I love him though. All right, now it's time for Baja Blast of the Week. It is presented by Mountain Dew Baja Blast, where we take a look at the longest home runs from this past week. All right, we're going to start off with Cam Smith of the Houston Astros, who is, he was off to a great start last year and then slowed down. Boy, oh boy, look at this. 462. I get it. It's in Colorado, but that's dead central. I like this kid a lot, man.
Yeah, lift and separate right there. Go.
It's good stuff.
Put the ball in the air, guys.
Yep. Which is something that the guy in next part of the list does. Oh, and it happened in Colorado. Kyle Schwarber hit one 460. Woof.
I think I like watching him hit homers more than anybody in the league.
Yeah. Because everyone looks like, has he ever hit a wall scraper?
Has he ever missed the barrel? Oh my gosh, dude.
Wow, that swing. Beautiful.
Oh, I like this one. Walker. I was watching this.
Yeah, this was a grand slam, 458.
That is not an easy place to hit the ball that far. And that's a big boy getting extension right there.
I want him to be good. And they got to wear those uniforms, those blue ones, more frequently. Those are great. I really want him to be good. Brandon Marsh, once again, in Colorado. When I have a feeling that Rockies games are going to appear in this segment an awful lot when they have a homestand.
That's a bomb.
454.
He got jammed.
454. It was a rough start for Michael Lorenzen. Yuck.
Oh.
Last one we got is O'Neal Cruz. How about him against lefties this year?
I was watching the game. They were talking about that. He already has 7 hits against lefties, and he had 11 all of last year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's historically been horrible against lefties.
Yeah, that was 443, by the way. And remember, for this MLB season, keep a close eye on 420-foot-plus home runs that unlock your free Baja Blast. Free. It's kind of cool. All right, it's time right now for our weekly SoFi Spotlight of the Week. And for that, we're focused on Juan Soto, who unfortunately is going to be down 2 to 3 weeks. Ended up straining his calf when he was running the bases out in San Francisco, which is a real bummer. Now, have you ever had a calf injury?
Of course I've had a calf injury.
Now, is this one we have to really watch?
It's the best muscle to strain in the legs, I think. Like, you'll be okay.
All right, good.
Like, I think that's the one you can come back and be kind of full go almost right away.
All right. So the Mets are going to be without him, and he's been off to a great start. Who is the guy that the Mets need to either step it up or pick it up in Soto's absence?
They only got like 3 outfielders now. Because who'd they bring up? They brought up
oh my God.
Dubon?
Yeah. No, not Dubon.
Not Dubon.
Ronnie Mauricio.
Mauricio Dubon, sorry. They have Tyrone Taylor, Benj, and Luis Robert as outfielders now. And like, I guess they've had Beatty in the outfield like for a handful of innings. That's really strange to me. Like, what's going on? They don't have another outfielder. They have a couple guys at the AAA level.
Well, wasn't Tauchman injured? He was having a good spring for them, right?
There's another guy who I'm trying to think of who it is now.
Well, whoever it is, that's not who you're going to go with. You're going to go with somebody else.
I'm
right?
just curious. I'm just curious, like, what the heck is going on? Look, you have those 3 outfielders, Beatty, whatever. I think Beatty could be an answer to this question. Vientos has been really good. So if he continues to mash, that's great. I guess Benj is the answer. Like, he's come up, he's got those big old chains on, and he really hasn't performed. Like, you win this job. It's the big leagues. It's tough. This is the time, if you want to establish yourself, it happens now. Be the guy that steps up for Juan Soto when he goes up. You don't got to be Juan Soto, but you got to be good enough to wear those chains.
Well, I think you mentioned it, that I think Beatty will get some shots in the outfield, and Vientos will continue to get at bats. Let's remember that 2 years ago, he had an 837 OPS. Then last year, he was like a league average player at the dish, a 702 OPS. That's just not good enough. He's off to a great start this year. Everybody in the world wants young right-handed pop. Well, he's there. And particularly after you let Pete Alonso walk, somebody has got to make up for that power source somewhere. So, Mark Vientos, I got my eyes on you. I want to see you do your thing. All right. And Juan Soto, get well. I like watching him play baseball. I do. So, cryptocurrency. For some of you out there, maybe it hasn't been your thing. And we understand that because trading platforms, they always felt complicated. Well, here's some good news for you out there. SoFi is the first nationally chartered bank where you can buy, sell, and hold cryptocurrency all from one simple app. You can have access to over 25 cryptocurrencies all on one federally regulated platform with the safeguards of a bank. SoFi provides in-app guidance to help you learn as you go so you can invest smarter. And the best part of it all this can be done in the same SoFi app as the rest of your finances. That is something easy and you'll love as well. Want to let you know that crypto is inherently risky. You need to make sure it's right for your financial portfolio. But if you're ready to explore crypto with SoFi, just visit SoFi.com/JohnBoy to start your crypto journey. And as a special bonus, right now, SoFi is giving away $100,000 in Bitcoin each week through April 7th. Open an account today to claim your share. Why? Because today is April 7th, so time is running out. All right, a couple of starting pitchers were not happy with their performances. You're about to hear from both. Bubba Chandler of the Pittsburgh Pirates, Shane McClanahan. We featured him after his first start. It was just his second appearance since the middle of 2023. So you'd figure, hey, build it up, get going. Well, he wanted nothing to do with that after his first start. And then he got to start the home opener back at the Trop. They ended up getting the win. He got the no decision. So here's McClanahan first and then Bubba Chandler.
I'm not here to be the guy that came back from a couple injuries. I hate that. I want to put that shit behind me. I want to go out there and be the pitcher I know I can be. Obviously, like I said, it's not like riding a bike, unfortunately. I wish it was because I'm damn good at riding a bike.
Hits are fine. Like, it's stuff that's going to happen, but not competing in the zone is just pathetic. And it's eating at me. And, I'm going to fix it, clean it up. I got 5 more days before I throw again. And, yeah, it won't happen again. Very pissed off, hate that we lost. But, again, I'm just setting our team up for failure right now with the, guys having to come in out of the pen, a lot sooner than they should.
Which one of those two guys made you laugh more?
Well, Shane McClanahan makes me laugh more because he's like serious. Like he's like pissed. I love what he said. Like, I don't want to be the guy that came back from injury. I don't want that. I want to get back to just being myself, the guy that like was one of the premier aces in the game. I love that he's saying that. It's great. And he seems serious about it. The other way with Bubba Chandler, you know what I love about this situation? Is Paul Skeens gets to be like, hey, bro, I got you. I'll pick the team up. He's starting tonight, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like that's funny to me. Like if he goes out and dominates, he's like, hey, get in the zone, little bro. I'll show you how to do it. Like that's the good stuff right there.
You know what? I kind of dug it that Bubba Chandler was like wore the suit to work.
Yeah, what's up with that?
I think that he means when it's my day, I'm all business, whether I'm on the road or at home. I'm
not about the skit outfits, dude. I'm just not about me and the Ellie using that word today. I'm not about it.
Okay.
Like it's your day. What does that mean?
I don't know. I'm guessing. I didn't read a quote or anything. I'm just
okay. By the way, I was thinking about Tommy Pham in AAA with the Mets. I think he's like not
probably not ready. Not ready.
As I was reading into it. Anyways, I love both of these guys, though. I mean, I love that when pitchers be like, I stunk. Like, I got to be better. That's what you need to say.
Mm-hmm.
In on that. I mean, Shane McClanahan is.
I think we might roll a soundbite of his every time that he's not happy after a game. I want him to be happy because he was such a stud in 22 and 23 before he got banged up for 2.5 seasons. The line about riding the bike, I'm damn good at riding a bike.
I told you, like, the IL for 2 years will put you in a dark place mentally. Yeah. This guy's come out of there like Bane and Batman, like just like ready to burn the world down. I like it. I'm in.
I think I might have to get him on dugout discussions.
You should.
Holy smokes. That would turn into like a 30-minute therapy session for one of us.
I saw Bubba Chandler's line. I think they had it up on that video. And it was like 85 pitches, 48 strikes or something like that. Oh.
It was, 83 and 48, I think.
Sheesh, dude.
Like that. Well, he's walked 10 guys in 2 starts. And he was not a walk guy last year. I think he gave up 4 walks the entire year.
Yeah, that is the biggest thing that when the light bulb goes off for a pitcher at the big league level, I could throw my stuff in the zone. I can live in the zone and get guys out. That's when people get scary.
Yeah, so Bubba Chandler last year in 31 1/3, 4 walks. He's got 10 in 8 2/3. That's what's got to just be killing him.
He did say, I can live with a single but not a walk. And that's got to be so hilarious to people who are like, what is that? Like, that don't really watch the game. They are completely different.
Mm-hmm.
Why, though? Why are walks so different than a base hit?
Non-competitive.
I know, but like,
you're not giving yourself a chance, right? I mean,
if someone gives up a 2-out single or a leadoff single, you're not saying, oh no, here we go. It's if you give a leadoff walk or a 2-out walk, like, oh my God, that guy's going to score. It's crazy.
It's all right here, brother. It's all right there. All right. Today's sponsor of this show, SeatGeek. We've got the regular season underway, the NBA, the NHL. Don't forget about the World Cup coming to North America during the summer. That's why we want to give the sponsor of today's video, SeatGeek, a huge shout out. More than 35 million downloads, over 70,000 listed events. SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app around. Each ticket, it's rated on a scale of 1 to 10, so you know whether you're getting a good deal. But look for the colored dots. Green, thumbs up. Red, thumbs down. Okay? You can go to an NBA game and it might have floor seats and there's going to be a big red dot. And you say, how in the world could these floor seats be bad? I'll tell you why. Because SeatGeek's looking out for your wallet. They want to make sure not just to get you in the arena, but get you the best deal available. And speaking of deals, we got a code for you guys. Baseball 2026. 10% off your next set of tickets at SeatGeek. That's 10% off any tickets with the promo code Baseball 2026. Make sure you click the link in the description, download the app, have the code automatically added to your account so you can use it later as well. Speaking of later, that'll do it for us. Full slate of baseball, some really good pitchers. Some games got moved up because the weather in the Midwest and the East Coast is so nasty. They didn't want people sitting there in the dark when it's really cold at night. Thought that was nice, fan-friendly. Cool. So stay warm if you're going to the games. If you don't get to catch all the action, just tune in Wednesday because we will break it all down. It's what we love to do. For our one-of-a-kind producer, Dan Rourke, the uber-talented Trevor Plouffe, I am Chris Rose. We will see you here on Baseball Today on Wednesday, presented to you by T-Mobile.